Hello and welcome to Marchwest Junction TMD, and today's video is going to be a how-to video. I've been asked to make some platforms for someone's 009 layout, a friend of mine down in Cornwall, and what I thought I'd do, I'd make a video showing you how I did the platforms that I use on my 009 layout Trecoon Valley, and what I've used, and how I use recycled products as well, just to save a bit of money, and which is good for the environment. So grab yourself a drink and we'll go over to the workbench and make a start. Okay, we're over at the workbench, and this is my raw material, and basically it's 3mm foam board. Sometimes you get thinner as well, and it's what they use on the stands at these shows, any show really, but obviously this one's from a train show. Now, last year in November, when the show was on at the NEC, I was helping Pico out strip the stand down, take it all apart and that, and pack everything away. Because a friend of mine, Andy Hudson, he works for Pico, and he asked me to help him out. And when they take the stall down, all the plasticard that's used for like the signage and display walls gets thrown in the bin. As you can see, this has got like Velcro. It gets stuck to the walls with Velcro, so you just have to cut that off, or if you're lucky you can peel it off. It does sort of come off. It's not fantastically glued on. It's just like a tape. And I reuse it the same, and we take it to the club and use it at the club, Whalley Model Railway Club. So it's a good way of getting hold of some products for free, really. Like I say, normally it will end up in the bin, and we had quite a few sheets of this, and all in different thicknesses as well. So this is what I'm going to make the platforms out of for my friend Josh down in Cornwall. So I'll just show you quickly how I cut it up. Okay, so I've trimmed it to make it a bit better manageable for myself, and what I've done, I've cut it so these are 30 centimeters, 300mm, and Josh has asked for them to be 100 wide, so I've marked them out at 100 wide. And all you do is steel rule, I mark it out, and then what I basically do is hold the steel rule on there like so, and then do several strikes down with a Stanley knife. And I just use a bog standard Stanley knife with a fresh blade in, which is one of these, and you do several strokes, and then after you've cut part way through, it just snaps off. Okay, so I've changed the orientation so it fits on the mat better, and what I'll do, I'll line up the blade with the edge of the rule, so the rule's lined up on the line, and then you just do several gentle strokes. Oh, it's cut straight through straight away, that one has, so that's pretty good. We'll do the same with the next line so you can see how it cuts. So line it up on the line that I've done. I'll go a little bit lighter this time, because last time it cut straight through and I could have made a mistake and it slip off. So that's one strike, second strike. I can feel it's cutting through now on the third. There you go. So it's quite simple to cut, but normally you can probably do 2 strikes and snap it. But as you can see, it's a nice clean cut. Now with this foam board as well, you've got to watch it, it indents really easy. As you can see, there's a few marks there if it's showing in the light. But that's not going to matter, because this is all going to be covered with like a type of ballast when I've finished. So that's basically where I get my foam board from, and basically how I cut it up. So I've trimmed all the boards to size, and there's 4 of them. Now what we want to do is have a nice, like a stone edge to the edge of the platform, similar to what I've done here on Trecoon Valley. And as you can see, there's these little edge stones. Now these were cut out of thin plasticard, each individually, made all different sizes and stuck on. So next I'm going to show you how I go about doing this. Okay, to make the edging stones, I've got some of this left over from a project, and what it is 0.5 of a millimetre or 20 thou plaster card. And I got this from my local model shop, Mike's Models, which has now changed its name to Model Maker, I think it is. It's 90p a sheet, so it's pence, it's pocket money stuff. And what I've done, I've roughly marked a line going down there with a pencil, and I'll just cut that out now. And like I say, it doesn't have to be neat, because you want randomness going forward. So with this stuff, you just do one strike and it should snap off. Little bending, and then what I need to do now, I want different random lengths. So as you can see, I haven't cut it perfectly straight, because you want different edges to suit the randomness of the actual like stones. And to just get the random lengths, I don't even measure them, I just cut some, just keep cutting them, some bigger, some narrow, and just keep going along, just to get a variation. Cut some really small, some really big, and it's all about just getting that random stone size. And then what I do next, once I've got quite a few of them, I'll stop there. As you can see, there's quite a few, and they're all different sizes, nothing perfect. I'll get my platform edge that I'm going to be working on, and I'll put some of this glue on. This is just standard Yoo-Hoo glue. It's a little bit stringy, this stuff, so it can be a bit of a nightmare. Just put some glue on. And like I say, you don't have to be neat with this, everything's going to get covered up. As you can see how stringy it is. But I use this stuff because it's cheap and cheerful. From some of the shops it's a couple of quid for that size. A smaller tube you can get from Poundland. And then you just put the pieces on the edge randomly. So I'll put that one there. And just make your way along with different sizes. And you get quite a nice little effect with the different, you have to excuse my fingers being in the way. I'm just doing this quickly for the camera. There you go. Another small one in that way. You just want to be, not even think about it, just put them on. Don't think, oh, I'll put that one next, that one next. Just, what I normally do is put them in a tub and just pull them out. Shake them all up in the tub, and then just grab them out, and whatever I grab is what I grab. So as you can see, there's a couple there that are similar length, but they are different widths. And switch them about, you know, just put them in different directions, and then just make your way along. So that's roughly what it's looking like. And I'll just try and keep it close to that edge as possible. Let's just lift it up a little bit over that one. There you go. It's a bit time consuming doing this, but it is a bit therapeutic doing it as well. It's a bit like when you're sticking down those slabs from Metcalfe. Okay, that's all 4 platforms done. So they've all been cut randomly, and some excessive glue there, and stuck down in a variety of different ways of positioning. So some, because the rectangles, squares, whatever, I've made them all so they're all different, so nothing's the same. So the beauty of this is when you buy platforms from these 3D printed sites and Bachmann, places like that, it's all uniformed, because yes, it shows a randomness possibly, but then it will repeat itself and keep repeating itself and keep repeating itself. This, down the whole length of these four, when they're all put together next to each other, will be completely random. And something I've done different as well, I've put two together there. So there's a small one and a bigger one that I've stuck in, just to give it something of a different view. And to get the edges level, when you stick them down, I turn them that way up and just press them down, and that gets the face level. So the next stage for these now, once they're dry, because they're still wet, is I'll give them a spray of grey undercoat. So we'll leave these to dry, but just before I move on to the spraying side of things, here's a little tip. When you've got some bits left over like this, don't just chuck them in a box. This was one of the accessories from one of these Scale 3D, I think it is, and it was some beehives, and the little bags that they come in, I keep them just for putting stuff like that in. So when it's in your storage box, it's not all loose and you can't find anything. I'll just show you what I mean with this storage box I've got and why I do it. So I got this storage box that the wife had for Christmas one year with makeup in or whatever, and everything that I keep in bags, and these are all second-hand bags. So there's something off an Airfix kit there. It's a bit of I think they're what they call them. They're not greenhouses. They're the lower ones from Ratio. Can't think what Colt something. I don't know. A bit more bits of a Hawk, Nat, Harrier, and I just keep everything in these little bags. Even offcuts of plasticard, bits of gates, walling. And just, it's worth keeping in these little bags, so it's just easier to find them for a later date. And these are all like second-hand bags that I've had over the years, that something's coming that I've purchased. Instead of throwing the bags away, keep them to one side, and they come in handy for when you want to store a few of these little bits and bobs in. So that's just another little tip. So I'll chuck them in there with them. These are all me remains of my plasticard that I've purchased in the past or got free from like I say, from the shows. So let's let them dry, and we'll get them sprayed up. Okay, so the paint's dry now, as you can see, and like I say, it's just a quick go over with the grey, so it hasn't got the any white showing through, that if you miss any of the gravel that we're going to put on there, it stands out like a mile. And you just make sure you give these a good coat, the capping stones or the edge stones. And to do the stonework on here now, I'm using this, which is Jarvis, and it's the extra fine ballast chippings. Now this is I think they're £3 a bag or something, and I think they're actual stone chippings. And to glue it all down, I'm going to use this PVA glue, which is what you get from bookshops and supermarkets, etc. And all I do is just pour it on neat in a big blob like so, and then with a big paintbrush just spread it out and give it a full cover. And when I get to the edge stones there, I'll use a finer brush so I can just get into all the nooks and crannies. But that's all you want to do, is just spread it all out, ready to accept the fine ballast. So I ain't gonna let you watch me paint all this across. So we'll get back to it when all the glue's down. Okay, that's all covered in glue, and that was the smaller brush I used just to get in the nooks and crannies. And obviously I used that half-inch brush just to put the bulk of it down. And now we're going to use some of this Jarvis fine chip, extra fine ballast chippings. And I use these Chinese tubs and cut the label out to store them in, which is a handy tip, so you ain't got these bags sitting around. And as you can see, it's a very fine ballast, so it's really good for this. And all I do is just first of all, put some cardboard underneath. This is a Weetabix packaging, just to catch all the extra ballast that will drop out. And then I'll just sprinkle it on. And you don't worry about being neat, because obviously it's all about filling in all the gaps. Now I do need to get some more of this to do the rest of the platforms. I've only got this small amount, because I've got 4 of these to do for Josh. And you just liberally sprinkle it all over. And then when you're happy it's fully covered, what I like to do is just to get my finger or fingers and then just gently press it down to make sure it attracts to the glue. Give it a bit of pressure so it's sticking to the glue. Now you don't have to wait for this to dry to take it all off. And then basically, because this isn't stuck down, it makes it easier. You just lift it up, give it a little tap, and hey presto, there you have your nice little finish to your platform. So it's got a nice little edge on that. So I think it looks quite reasonable, and because it's double O, being the extra fine, it doesn't look too coarse when you put a figure on it. So like I say, I think that's looking pretty good. Okay, so this is the finished platform. Now the beauty of these platforms are not just for 009, you could use them on 00 standard gauge, and you just want to increase the height. So what I would recommend is, because this is 3mm thick, plus you've got 0.5 mm on the top on that edging capping stone, and probably with the gravel, I reckon about 12mm, because I've visited a railway not long ago, steam railway, and there's quite a bit of a step down from the coach, so I think that would work out pretty well. So you just glue these on top of a piece of wood. I'd have this overhanging very slightly at the end, so you've got like the slight overhang as well, and then you can paint the edge of it, the very edge of it, white, and I think that would be very effective and look really good. And obviously the front of the platform, you'd have to like put a brick effect or stone effect, whatever you feel that is your period and type of area that you're in for your platforms. What I did on Trecum Valley was I weathered the stones on the edge. Now I don't know if Josh wants me to do that, so I won't do it to this piece, but I'll do it to one that I haven't put the stone chipping on, because I can respray over it if he's not happy to have that effect. And what I use to weather the stonework, I use this enamel wash, and it's from Ammo, and it's a nice black wash, and that's the code for it, AMIG-1011, and it's quite a good little wash. It's one of these that goes on very thin. Then we'll just get a cheap brush, as I always use, and then just paint it on. And as you can see, it goes on, you think, oh my god, look how dark that is, and what a mess it's made. But the idea is to get it into all the nooks and crannies, so it's makes it pop a little bit. And I try and do it sideways, the paint strokes, because I think then it gives it the effect of it's more like a stone slate. And then that's it, that's all I need to do with that. And then what I do as well to help it look a bit natural without the paintbrush is I get an old sponge, take the I think the name for it is actually Scotch Brite, but I take the actual abrasive pad off, and then I just go over it and dab it, and then That gives you a bit more of a stone effect and more natural. And then I'll leave that to dry, and I'll just take you over to the layout, excuse me with the camera movement, and I'll show you what it looks like on the layout when it's dried. And as you can see, it's quite a nice effect. I think it's quite impressive. Now, as you can see about the height as well, because this has got curves, obviously the Pico coaches overhang, so hence why you have to have it so low. And if you do visit a place like the Talclin and the Festiniog, the platforms are really low. It's just a representation of the platform. So that brings me to the end of this video. I hope you've enjoyed it and you've learned something from it, and it's of use to yourselves, if not yourselves, your friends and colleagues. If you feel it is useful for your friends and colleagues, please feel free to share this video. And if you've enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up, and please feel free to put comments down below, even if it's giving me advice on how to do this better. But as you can see, I've done them platforms really cheap. I think the total cost for all them platforms is about £5 if you was to buy the plaster card, the ballast and some glue. In pro rata, obviously, with what you've got left, you'd use about 10% of the glue, if that. You probably use 50% of the ballast, and the plaster card you probably use a sheet and a half. So for less than a £5, I've got 4 platforms for Josh for his layout. And as you can see from what I'm showing you on the pictures, I think they look really effective. If you're new to the channel, then please consider subscribing. It's free of charge, you don't have to pay. And if you hit the notification bell and select all, you'll be notified when I do a new video on Traccoon Valley or on March West Junction, or even when I'm out and about at shows or whatever. So it might be of some interest to you. And thank you very much for stopping by. Please stay safe and really enjoy your modelling. And I'll see you at the next video. Bye for now.